Good day, good day, good day. Welcome, welcome, one and all. You are here with me live on Youth Voice. I just want to welcome all of you, those of you who are joining me from locally, from Jamaica, all across the island, and regionally throughout the Caribbean. I'm going to be hailing up everybody in a moment, and also those of you who are joining me internationally all across the world. Welcome everyone to the first staging I'd like to say of Youth Voice. Now today is going to be power packed. In 1 hour we're going to be just talking about some things that are affecting our young people. But before we go into that, today is just really a special day. Today, in the island of Jamaica, we are celebrating Emancipation Day. And that's a big thing for us. Today we celebrate our freedom as individuals, our freedom from slavery, our freedom from oppression. And we just celebrate this day with all our local audience, those of you who are listening across the island. Happy Emancipation Day to you all. It was a day like this so many years ago that freedom fighters stood in Spanish Town Square listening to this declaration of emancipation. So it is indeed a day that we have to be proud of. Now, DCM Radio's Youth Voice, I'm just going to be sharing with you what we are all about. Now, stay tuned everyone. Just a moment, I'm going to be sharing with you what this radio station is all about. What is Youth Voice all about?
Turn it up higher. Gospel music's pumping and the place is on fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make some pump in the big box. How you mean? Turn it up, turn it up. Pump it in the big box. How you mean? Turn up the bass, turn up the bass. It's another place. Radio is taking it, turn it up higher. Yeah.
Welcome everyone. You are listening to Youth Voice on DCM Radio. Happy Emancipation Day to all the Jamaicans listening all across the world. And welcome to our international audience. Those of you who are listening across the globe, welcome those of you from the United States, those of you listening over there in Africa, especially the Kenyan brothers and sisters over there. Welcome to all of you. And I must say a special welcome to those who are listening from the Turks and Caicos Islands. I do hope that you are keeping yourself safe over there with the threat of Hurricane Isaias. Just keep yourself safe. We are praying for you over there in the Turks and Caicos. My name is Janelle the teacher, and I will be with you for 1 hour from 5 to 6 p.m. And we're going to be talking about quite a bit of things today. But before we get into that, I just want to share with you. Now, the Youth Voice program is a program that is really geared towards giving youth a voice. It's a forum that we are going to be using to discuss a lot of hard-hitting questions that youth face on a daily basis. We just want to give them the opportunity to receive sound advice from the experts out there. Issues that plague them on a daily basis, we just want to ensure that they receive good advice, because there's a lot of information out there and not all of it is good. So we want to provide a platform for our young people that they can get sound advice. Amen. Turn it up, turn it up. We know that God calls upon his young people because we are strong. So we would just want to use this initiative to guarantee a greater preparation of our young people for the future. Stay tuned. We have lots in store for you. It's Emancipation Day, so so we have to throw in a little of the festival song somewhere in there, and a little of our folk songs, some cultural music. So stay tuned. You're listening to the voice of Chevelle Franklin. Radio is playing it. Turn it up. I hope you're pumping this music through your big boxes in your house. Turn up the music and turn them outside. Let the whole neighborhood hear that we're listening to Youth Voice on DCM Radio.
Gospel music's bumping and the place is on fire. Yeah.
Jamala. You're listening to DCM Radio.
When you're listening to nothing but the best, when you're listening to nothing but the best of when you're listening to nothing but the best and nothing but the best and nothing but the best.
Don't change that dial.
Thank you so much.
DCM Radio, the mission station, making disciples of all nations.
Everything is gonna be alright. God said He will come through. Said I woke up this morning with problems on my mind. Didn't know what to do. I wasn't feeling so fine, so I put on some music, and you know what kind of gospel music with anointing really soothes my mind. Was like a prescription at the doctor prescribed. Felt the Holy Spirit moving me down deep inside, so I picked up my hands and I started to smile as Jesus shared my situation. Now I feel joy, happiness in my soul. I feel
I want to say a special welcome to those of you who are listening to me on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us on Youth Voice on DCM Radio. Those of you who are over there on YouTube and also listening to us from the radio app, thank you so much for joining us. Now, Youth Voice is an arm of DCM FM Radio and by extension an arm of Disciples Covenant Ministries. We are born out of the youth ministry of DCM Ministries, and we're just here to spread good information for young people out there. We're just here to give them a voice and give them an opportunity to voice questions, voice concerns about some hard-hitting things that they face in life. We want to provide some sound advice for them. And this is the platform that God has given us to utilize.
happiness in my soul. I feel joy, happiness in my soul. So this joy.
I'm Janelle the teacher, and you are joining me today. But today we want to talk about it being Emancipation Day. We want to find out, why is it that Jamaican culture has seemingly died among young people? Now, I just want to invite those of you who are listening to me on Facebook and YouTube to just type in your comments. I'm going to be taking some time out to read them for our listeners. Why is it that Jamaican culture has seemingly died among young people? And we're going to be inviting a few young persons to even call in and to share why they feel as though the Jamaican culture has died.
My hope is in you, Lord. Yes. Oh, yes. I trust you every day. Lift your hands and sing, for I feel joy. Happiness in my soul, Lord, when I have you, I feel joy. Happiness in my soul, Lord, yes, I happiness in my soul. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Yeah. Happiness in my soul. Hey, Jesus, you make me wanna smile again. Jesus, you make me
I wonder if any of my listeners know anything about festival song. I'm going to be dropping one festival song right now. I wonder if you know it.
Let us give thanks and praise to the Father for guiding us through 25 years of independence. Give thanks and praise.
25. Though the road was rocky and the hills were steep, still we survived. We put the faith and trust in the Father. He's keeping us alive. So give thanks and praises. We are 25. How good and how pleasant it is
that we can live in harmony, that all races, color and creed can live in peace and unity. Jamaica, our homeland, given from our father's hand, to him we give the glory and praise continually. So give thanks and praises, we are 25. Though we did walk through the valley of the shadow of death, still we survive. With our hand in the hand of the Father, our country will stay alive. So give thanks and praises, we are 25. Go put your hand in the ear and praise him. For a pretty little island, praise him. For the love in the nation, praise him. Let all the people praise him, praise him, praise him. Will! Let's remember those who struggled for us, our heroes, true and brave. They gave their lives in service for us. Now we are free and no more slaves. Remember Marcus Garvey, Sam Shabbat Nane, Buster Bottleman leading fight so we are free. So give thanks and praises, we are 25. Though the road was rocky and the hills were steep, still we survived. We put the faith and trust in the Father, He's keeping us alive. So give thanks and praises, we are 25. So put the hand in the ear and praise him. For every little island I praise him. For the love in the nation I praise him. Let all the people praise him, praise him, praise him. Blow!
On Facebook or YouTube, share with me what year Roy Rayon released Give Thanks and Praises, his festival song.
We are 25. Though the road was rocky and the hills were steep, still we survive. We put the faith and trust in the Father, He's keeping us alive. So give thanks and praises, we are 25. So put your hand in the ear and praise him. For every little island, praise him. For the love in the nation, praise him. Let all the people praise him.
So Roy Rayon, who won the festival song competition in this year. What year is it? Give thanks and praises. Can anybody tell me? Where are my Jamaican listeners? Now I have to hold on before I play this one. Now, for those of you who are listening internationally, we know this lady as Miss Lou, but her name is the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley, and she is one of our cultural icons. She is a matriarch of promoting Jamaica's official language. That's the patois.
Now you see, that is the Jamaican welcome song. Come make me hold your hand. Now you have to welcome me, I welcome you. So you're going to sing with me. Come make me hold your hand. All right, yes dear. But I don't want to hear anybody say, come let me hold your hand. You see? Because you're going to pile up the culture. No matter with that. Come make me hold your hand. Come make me hold. This long time, girl, me never see you. Come make me hold your hand. It's a long time, girl, me never see you. Come make me hold your hand. Feel head jump, cross, sit and pick up the blossom. Make me hold your hand, girl. Make me hold you. Feel and see what happened? I don't want to hear anybody saying walk and talk. And when I go to Canada, I don't have any trouble with this because they naturally say walk and talk. This long time, girl, me never see. Make me walk and talk. It's a long time, girl, me never see. Make me walk and talk. Feel head jump, cross, see them, pop it and pick up the blossom. Make me walk and talk, girl. Make me walk and talk. Now we're coming to the mentor. You know the mentor that go? Da 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 da. You know that boss? Yes, man. Make me lean and turn till we tumble down. Make me hold your hand, girl. Make me lean and turn till we tumble down. Make me hold your hand, girl. Come, lean and turn till we tumble down. Make me hold your hand, girl. Make me lean and turn till we tumble down. Make me hold your hand, girl.
That was the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley, matriarch of patois across the world for Jamaica, one of our cultural icons that we hold near and dear to our heart. She has released a number of songs, a number of folk songs, a number of poems that she is well known across the world for. Anybody know anything about Nolika Twang? Lord Jesus. I have to remember that my international audience is listening. Oh, Jesus. But it's just the way we express ourselves as Jamaicans. We have to use our lingua, our patois. We have to. It's just the way we express ourselves. It's just not the same when we speak in standard English. But here is another festival song from Eric Donaldson. This is the land of my birth. I'm just so happy that I'm able to share my culture across the world this Emancipation Day. And you're getting a double dose because you see, because I'm not going to be here on Independence Day. I'm giving you a taste of the culture as well as the independence songs. You understand me? So I'm going to play this one for you. This is The Land of My Birth by Eric Donaldson. Big up Claudette Bonnick listening over there on Facebook, as well as Shane Williams saying over there, when me hear Miss Lou, culture come alive. So he's saying when he hears the Honorable Miss Louise Bennett Coverley, the culture comes alive to him. But you see, I'm telling you about the expressive nature of the Jamaican people. We can't just say it in standard English. We have to use the patois. Alright? It makes it come alive.
On the hills and the plains and the rivers and the valleys, always beckon to me. I said, this is the land of my birth. I said, this is the land of my birth. I said, this is Jamaica, my Jamaica, the land of my birth.
interested in a company that specializes in residential and commercial cleaning, housekeeping, interior decorating, lawn and yard cutting, fence trimming, ironing services, and wash and drying services, look no more. Dust Buster Cleaning Services and Laundromat is here for you, where cleaning is our priority. Yes, sirree, Dust Buster Cleaning Services and Laundromat will take the hassle away from you. Leave it to us. For appointment and bookings, call Pauline in Jamaica at 876-886-9630. That's 876-886-9630, where cleaning is our priority.
All nations have sensation, and every nation out in adoration. This is the time for a happy meditation. Nobody of us enjoy the celebration, yeah. Mama, daddy, auntie, daughter, and youth man, enjoy yourself in your homeland. A little more, I and I will queen. Go over the bit, but I will live to see. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. Oh, no. All nations have their celebration, and every nation has their inspiration. This is the time for a happy meditation. So come together as one great nation, yeah. Even great enemies sit up on a reason. No time to war in a this season. Up, down, 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 come together. No matter what the time, no matter what the weather. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yeah. Cause when I check it out loud.
Jamaicans have traveled all across the world, and I can safely say that in almost every country that you visit there is a Jamaican, but there is one thing that is common with every one of them. They can safely say, no way no better than yard.
I will let you see. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. All nations have their sensation, and every nation have their adoration. This is the time for a happy meditation. Nobody of us enjoy the celebration. All nations have their celebration, and every nation have an inspiration. This is the time for a happy meditation. So come together as one great nation, yeah. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard, oh no. All nations have the sensation, and every nation have the moderation. This is the time for a happy meditation. Nobody of us enjoy the celebration. All nations have them celebration, and every nation have them.
Now I'm joined with Mr. Randine Harrison. Now he's an educator at the Women's Boys School, and he's also the men's president at Disciples Covenant Ministries. Tongue twisters here and there. All right. Brother Harrison, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on Youth Voice. Now today, we want to talk about a few things, and I'm so happy that you are here to join me as a youth and have experiences dealing with even younger persons.
Right.
We see where today the culture of Jamaica has almost died among young people. You ask them certain things about cultural songs and they don't know it. You understand me? So
right.
This has prompted me to be asking a few questions, and so you are here with me to share our findings then with our local and international audience. So welcome, sir.
All right, thank you for the welcome. And let me say, I'm happy to be here, and I love the initiative that you've taken in preparing this forum for youth to have a voice, and also the information that they will receive.
Yes.
Now, as it relates to our culture and youth, let me just give you a story from my youth. Now, growing up, I had a bigger sister with me, and she would have her friends who would come over from time to time. Now, what I realized is that the television was always glued to BET, right? Because that was the young people's station.
Yes.
And then from there, they would want to dress like the people who they see on TV. They want to emulate them in terms of the way they behave, right?
Yes.
So they took on that culture that they would have seen on the television then. And I think to a large extent, that's what's happening with youth today. They have
So
become...
just for clarity,
Right.
you said BET.
Yes.
So that's a station based.
It's a US-based television station.
It's a US based television station. Okay.
Right. So, what I would have seen now is that they pretty much became a word that I like to use. They became Americanized, right? Because they took on the American culture and pretty much threw away their own. So even songs that we would listen to, reggae and folk songs, they weren't interested in that. They were interested in the foreign artists, the rap and the hip hop.
Yes.
At the time, I know Lil Bow Wow was trending. Right? I'm not sure where he is now, but he was trending then.
So you're saying that it's not just a no thing. This has been transitioning for a while now.
Right. It has been for a long time.
Okay.
So once the media came in from overseas,
yes,
or people here started to get educated and recultured, right? So they were led to put their culture aside and take up the culture that was brought to them by the foreign media.
So instead of a cultural exchange, they really just gave up their culture and really adapted a new one.
Right. So it wasn't an exchange at all. You know, they just put their culture aside and took on the foreign culture.
Okay. So the question now is, Brother Harrison, why is it that we're no longer interested in our own culture? Is it that it's no longer appealing? Is it that it's what is it among young people? Why is it that they are no longer interested in Jamaican culture or exploring Jamaican culture?
I think a large part of it has to do with the way children are raised. No, I can't fault parents for having their children stay inside and not wanting them to go out and explore the outdoors as they used to. The truth is, crime and violence has really taken off, and you know, crime and violence are reaching our young ones as well. So
yes,
I can't fault parents for keeping them in, but that's where it starts, right? Because I remember growing up as a youth, I was able to go around to the community play field and play football and cricket. I could walk around the community and pick up old boxes and bottle toppers and make some box trucks. I could get some board and nail, and just once I found some wheels, I could just make a cart with it, and we would enjoy ourselves on the road.
Yes.
But children aren't being raised that way these days for the purpose, like I said, crime and violence.
Yes, but even so, parents can take on the role of imparting culture, but we see where that's possibly not happening in many households anymore. that handing down that used to happen through storytelling and tales like Anansi stories. I remember when I was much younger and we used to drive home in the evenings, and that used to be a staple, you know, talking about Anansi stories or sharing Anansi stories. You know, that used to be something that we did on a regular basis. But we see where even that handing down of culture, that handing down of dances and music and even stories, that's not happening anymore.
Right, it's not happening. I think because of the view that people have of folk dances and our culture, pretty much in general, they believe that our culture. Once you mention folk song, folk dance, and ancestry stories, the children today will tell you that you're living back in the day, right? You're not current, because these things, even though they are part of our culture, they just see it as something for the old people. They don't see it as something that they should be a part of, or they should be willing to pass down or learn from the persons who would have been before them.
Okay. But let me ask you this. As a young person, do you think that Jamaican culture is appealing?
I would say it's very appealing, and I would say this, that we don't appreciate what we have. I think that's something that has been a truth for quite a while. We do not appreciate what we have. Now, when I look at Japanese people, for example, they love reggae music, right? You want to ask them anything about Bob Marley, they've done their research, they know all the songs, they know the lyrics to the songs, right? So they love our reggae music, and they've traveled all the way from Japan in some cases to Jamaica just to experience the culture and take it back with them, right? I know Spanish people have done that as well. You know, persons from Colombia, persons from Spain, they came here just to experience Jamaican culture. And I know that this time of year in particular, a lot of persons would have come over just to see how we celebrate, you know, learn about our folk songs and stuff like that. And they bring it back to their countries. And we are here not appreciating it, not appreciating the fact that other people find our culture very interesting. And we are looking for a foreign culture to adapt to.
Wow. That is really hard-hitting. Now, another thing that I'd want to even explore before I let you go. Do you think it's a case where the influences out there are just too strong for the young people? Or is it a case where we have just really shoved what is around us, and the influences have really pulled us in?
Well, I would say it is a bit of both. I think that from the perspective of children these days, you know, they're not attracted to the culture. They've been distracted by other cultures out there because they see those cultures as being current. They see those cultures as being the ones to follow, right? And also, I think we've been distracted because we've allowed ourselves to be so immersed in it that we've pretty much shoved our own culture aside. We haven't taken the time to teach the younger ones our culture, but we have put them in front of American cartoons, we put them in front of American movies, we've put them in front of American advertisements, we've put them, even American English, for example. I know students, and I've taught students who insist on spelling words the American way, even though Jamaica's English is the Queen's English. They've been so Americanized where they insist that the American spelling must be the one that they use.
But you know, we can't come and we look at the issues without even putting forward probably some solutions.
Right.
Right? So I'm gonna ask you a big question now.
Right.
It might not be in our power to change, but at least we have sparked a conversation, and I hope that the relevant ears will, if this information could even get to them, you know, so some amount of change or some amount of conversation can begin. So I'm asking, yes, we have all of these influences. Yes, there are challenges, and the young people have seen that it's like our culture has really died to them.
Right.
What can we do? What would you suggest? I know it's a big question, but
yeah. I think if we're going to bring it back, if we want it to be close to the way it used to be, then it has to start from where we lost, or where we began to lose people, which would be in the homes and in the communities. Now, I would think that the best place to start is with the youth. Get them involved. We know that we have our grand galas and people sit down and they watch. Make it a more community-based event where children who are on holidays, for example, you know, right now, they're on holidays. They need to have some community events that really bring the culture to them, where they can be an active participant in the culture. Because our culture involves so many things that youth will be able to participate in some way or the other, whether it be song, whether it be dance, whether it be dress, whether it be food, because, you know, or gizzard, or greater cake, things like that. There are children who can bake, there are children who can cook. We have our dishes that we can cook or bake, and they can make a business out of it if they want to. Right? So I think it should be community-based to start with, and then we can talk about making our culture a part of school. You know, we teach a lot of things in school.
To ask that.
Why not go into schools and teach our Jamaican culture as well?
Yes. All right. And as an educator, I'm just going to segue a little bit. You have been teaching for a while. How would you describe the presence of Jamaican culture in schools, or the display of Jamaican culture in schools? Do you think it's very much present, or do you think it needs improvement, or it's just really lacking altogether?
I wouldn't say it's lacking altogether. It needs a whole lot of improvement, though.
Okay.
Because our school has been so secularized that you go to school now, and it's almost like you're taking a walk down Wall Street, right? Everybody has some business to do, everybody has somewhere to rush to, and nobody has the time to even say good morning sometimes. That's part of our culture. You don't pass somebody and look them in the eye without saying good morning. You know? And so these are the things we need to start inculcating in our students once more. Now, I notice the efforts of schools whenever it comes around to Jamaica Day, or, you know, whether they're talking about Heroes Day. But, I mean, more can be done. It doesn't have to be a special day for students to be allowed to wear their Jamaican colors, for example, or have a Jamaican concert. You know, these things can happen, and it can educate students and get some to appreciate what they have.
Yes. All right, well, I just want to thank you so much, Brother Harrison, for joining us on Youth Voice this afternoon. Your contribution really has stirred up some probing questions, and I hope it has even stirred up in some individuals who are listening, you know, stirred up the need to rekindle that flame for appreciation of our Jamaican culture.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate being here and just being able to share on this program. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yes, and thank you too, sir. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, and you do the same.
Okay. That was Brother Randy Harrison, an educator and also the president of our men's ministry at DCM Ministries, but most importantly, a young person, a youth. And that is what we are here to do. We really want to hear what goes on in the mind of the youth, and how can we involve them in these things that we'll be probing each Saturday. Now, in days to come, you will be hearing more from other young people. You will be hearing, we'll be featuring more youth, both locally and internationally, and also we're going to be featuring experts in various fields to come and shed some light to the many questions we may have as young people.
This is the time for a happy meditation. No matter first enjoy the celebration, yeah. Mama, daddy, auntie, daughter, and youth man, enjoy yourself in your homeland. A little more, I and I will queen. Go over there with Pana, I will lick a scene. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yard. All nations have their celebration, and every nation has their inspiration. This is the time for a happy meditation, to come together as one great nation, yeah. Even great enemies sit up on a reason. No time to war in a this season. Up, down, 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 walk together. No matter what the time, no matter what the weather. Cause when I check it out loud, no way no better than yeah.
Now, before we wind down, we're coming to the end of our hour, but I just like to praise then some of the government agencies who have really been leading the charge to promote Jamaica's culture. They have been doing an effective job, I believe, and the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, we call them the JCDC, really goes the extra mile to involve especially young people in integrating our culture in schools. They have been doing a good job in hosting annual competitions. I don't know with the threat of COVID this year if that still happened, but I remember even going to school. I participated in JCDC quite a bit through my school choirs, and we did many folk songs and dances. So this agency under the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has really been leading the charge to promote Jamaica's culture and make it even attractive for young people. We saw them when they came out with an initiative to revamp the cultural song competition, the festival song competition, and so they have been trying to go the extra mile to really re-engage our young people in the Jamaican culture. So I just want to say hats off to the JCDC. But we are saying now that a lot more can be done by even other agencies, communities, local groups and schools to integrate our Jamaican culture even more into curriculums and activities and so on. So we want to thank you to our listener who just prompted us to say that JCDC has really been doing a very good job.
I won't allow that long. Sticks and stones won't never get to harm for my praises. Sticks and stones won't never get to take my place.
quantity what sell. Carry me out, he got to Linstead Market, not a quantity what sell. Oh Lord, not a mice, not a bite, what a Saturday night. Lord, not a mice, not a bite, what a Saturday night.
As we wind down, we're here listening to Miss Lou, Linstead Market. You know anything about carrying Aki to Linstead Market? Lord Jesus.
Carry me out, he got a Linstead Market, not a quantity what sell. Carry me out, he got a Linstead Market, not a quantity what sell. Oh Lord, not a mice, not a bite, what a Saturday night. Lord, not a mice, not a
I just won't stop interrupting your Miss Lou song. But before I go, I have to share. Please download the DCM FM radio app for Android devices in the Google Play Store. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go over to YouTube and subscribe so you don't miss a beat of what we have in store for you. Join me, same time, same place, next week, Saturday, as we engage another young person or expert in the field to discuss some hard-hitting questions that affect young people daily. Thank you so much for joining me here on Youth Voice, only on DCM FM radio. Thank you to those of you who are listening on Facebook and YouTube. And how could I forget DCM FM radio? Thank you so much to our listeners today. Join us next week, next Saturday at 5 p.m. for 1 hour, right up to 6 p.m. And we close the show once again with Miss Lou, Linstead Market.
Carry me out, he got a Linstead Market, not a quantity what sell. Carry me out, he got a Linstead Market, not a quantity what sell. Oh Lord, not a mice, not a bite, what a Saturday night. Lord, not a mice, not a bite, what a Saturday night.
trust in your home.
Say this is journey and it works. Yeah. With God, everything is gonna be alright. Yeah. Say put a smile on your face, but me know you a carry a heavy load. Get up and fix yourself, you got things to do, let's ignore. Yeah. Forget about your struggles and your pain and just believe that everything is gonna be alright. Oh, Father's love. So we'll leave for times yet and chop me, but him just cannot stop me. Him close one door, one many more open. Jesus tell me, never in my life but was purpose. Kingdom life say, you can't stop me, you don't have the power of the island, show your powder. Over me, please, me a beg you. Watch over me, yeah. But tell me on the journey. Father, I just have to give you praises from my heart, because you wake me every day and give me a fighting God. So and you never forget. You protect my life and you keep my family. Oh, Father God.
Cut it up. Well, listen. Yeah, me try do a whole heap of things for black us. Try stop us. Try mock us. But we tell him to like sardine, he can't pack us. King Jesus back us. Tell you the thing now. Shout out of our belly shall flow rivers. Good to get, but blessed are the givers. How me be a sick, I tell you, say, me and my God make me man shivers. So whether family or a visitors, bigger than Daniel, always delivers. So anything I try, well, you from God, just drop your spiritual scissors and do a cut it off. Anything I try, distract you for cut it off. Cut. To the internet or cable, you pull it and shut it off. Cut it off. Anything I try, distract you for cut it off. Cut. So long that I tell you, put your so stop from cut it off. Love technology, you just can't stop that. But sometimes me have easy and rock back. Cause me rather go away with me pen and me paper than gone hell with me laptop. This what I say might not be well known. Some don't realize them hellbone. Me rather go away with 2 cup and a string than pick and on hell with me cell phone. Father, don't take them blessing ya. Remove everything we are trying ya. Cause me rather go away for post office every day than pick and on hell with me finger. So cut it off. Anything I try distract you for cut it off. Cut. Could I internet or cable you pull it and shut it off. Cut it off. Anything I try distract you for cut it off. Cut. Hold on, God, I tell you put your so stop from cut it off. Hear me now, sir, and listen this star. I make sure in your head it register. Call me rather walk up in a heaven till me sweat and pick and down a hell with me Christian. And if out a road ladies a look me, to me a artist them a try book me. Me rather go a heaven with me one choke feet. And down a hell go down just a better move it. Father help me face the reality. And every movie Christian to see me rather go heaven watch black and white TV. And down a hell and go burn up in a 3D. So cut it off. Anything I try distract you for cut it off. Cut. Put the internet and cable, pull it and shut it off. Cut. you for cut it off. Cut. Look how long God I tell you put you so stop from cut him off. You know what the Bible tell me, sir? It's better me gone a heaven with one hand or one foot than do whole of me gone a hell gone go burn. So I'm basically I tell you, say you see anything I try keep you from pleasing God. It's better you get it out of your life. Just get your screwdriver, scissors, I know how you do with it. Shout, cut it off. Anything I try distract you for cut it off. Cut. I could have internet card.